We want that book tour. A lot of people want the book tour. Oh my. Guys, these are books from 20 years ago. What do you want to see in them? All right, let's do a book tour. This book is this book. This is one of my greatest. It's called The Zen and the Art of Systems Analysis by Patrick McDormand. Right? And this book, my God, doesn't have technical stuff, right? But it changes your thinking to essentially make you connection with the work that you're putting for the system analysis, with the design you're building. And if you have that connection with your work, you become essentially an artist and you appreciate everything that you see. So if I look at Cloudflare, I look at Netlify, I look at Kubernetes, and I see the art behind the work, and I really appreciate. I don't just use it, I absolutely appreciate these kind of things, right? This is a good book. I don't recommend you just buying it and just look it up in Amazon. I read books, weird books like this. I'll just. This is another book. This is a new book, and disclaimer: O'Reilly reached out to me to review this book. Well, so they paid me to review this book, right? They're not paying me to view and share this book for you, right? They just paid me to review it. So my name is actually in the book as a viewer, right? This book, really good. I'm not saying it just because I review it, because it took a couple of times, and I wrote a lengthy review for O'Reilly. If you're using Nginx, this book will give you a recipe. It's not going to teach you how Nginx work, let's be honest. It's going to teach you how to apply different methods to implement Nginx, whether it's a cloud, security, I forgot so much stuff. They go through load balancing, how to deploy HTTP2, how to deploy it on a different operating system. And what I didn't like about the book, and of course I'm going to say that, is a lot of examples are from the paid version, which is Nginx Plus, and I did criticize that as well, right? So they know about this, they're fine with that. But a lot of these examples that are being are Nginx Plus, not Nginx Free. So if you get the book and you don't have Nginx Plus, you might not take use for it unless you purchase that Nginx Plus. But so that's another kind of a thing. Obviously, O'Reilly is not paying me to promote this book or anything like that. I just merely reviewed it. Right, so I recommend that if you use Nginx, this is a good book to have it by your side. So, okay, how do I do this? How do I do this? So it's like there is a lot of really. It just was released December 2020. This was just released, literally released. So check it out. And the author is absolutely sweetheart, Derek DeJonga, and the book name is Nginx Cookbook: Advanced Recipes for High Performance Load Balancing. What else? What else would I share with you? Something other than this is my favorite book. Presentation Zen. I don't think this is the second book, Presentation Zen. So guys, Presentation Zen, this guy, Gar Reland, Presentation Zen, to how to present your ideas. And I think that part of this is what made me good presenting and talking Obviously, I still suck, but I think I can improve. But this book showed me the skill set of how to present your idea in a very succinct manner and to get to the point immediately, to remove the clutter of stuff that you don't need to show. Because engineers, always us, like, we're always like, oh, I need to show this, I need to show this, I need to show them about this, I need to tell them about this, I need to tell them about all this stuff, right? Another good book. You can see a pattern, right, guys? You can see a pattern. I'm into Zen and Japan and programming, stuff like that, and art. Right? So, the Zen of programming, Jeffrey James. That's a lot. I love this book a lot. So, and there are some technical books there. There's some my own books. I wrote 4 books for you who don't know. I wrote 4 books on 5 books actually, for mostly on my and my specialty is geographic information system. So all my books are about GIS, right? But in this channel, I never talk about GIS, so it doesn't conflict of interest with my current employer, which is Israel. So I don't talk about GIS at all. Design pattern, good stuff there. Assembly language, that's my textbook from some of the stuff I never read. Like I read in 2001, and they are still there, right? Plus, you spend so much time with this sucker. UML Distilled 3rd edition. It's not a good book, by the way. Martin Fowler, I'm sorry, this is not a good book, right? I criticize Martin Fowler for this book, or UML, right? Because I cried back in 2005 when I read this and I want to do my stinking UML, and he doesn't have enough examples. So I did not like this book. Right? It's very distilled. There is no detailed that I wanted. Obviously, UML is not. What else, guys? What else, guys? What else? PHP, Steve Jobs, obviously. My Bleach collection, my video game trilogy. This is one. I don't know if you guys know Seth Godin. This guy is a marketeer, but this is one of the first books I read until I started reading. I recently started reading. So the Purple Cow, it's not an engineering book, but it will tell you how to make a product that stands out, right? So the idea of being remarkable, essentially, is distilled on the front page. I know, right? Yeah, I guess I am too harsh on Martin. I like Martin. Martin Fowler is one of those technologists and computer scientists that says, okay, he called out JSON as a fashion choice. I remember that. And I kind of agree with him, because he's like XML. I was like, that was like a long time presentation between XML and JSON. Like when people started moving to JSON, right? I was like, this is so fashion choice. And then I had to agree with him, like, because the parsing cost of JSON is not any better than XML. I mean, slightly better, but you think about it, XML is more readable than JSON, I guess. Then we came up with the everything just screwed up. Stupid YAML. I hate YAML. Don't try to take. I will judge you. Like, I will judge you. I'm kidding, obviously. My favorite Japanese artist, fighter, dashiotto. I have his book right there. The Book of Five Rings. Just makes you a little bit more zen and pep. Musashi is another book. Musashi, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. His biography or autobiography. No, it's biography. Design pattern. Art now, because of you guys. This book is the most book I ever read in my life. Back in 2004, 2005. God. Tim Ferriss fan? Yes, I like Tim Ferriss. 4 hours work week. Yeah. First, when I read that book, it's like it gives you the idea that, oh, you should never work hard. So I didn't really like it, but as once you read it, you actually understand. So design pattern, that's a summary, and with full beautiful examples of the actual badass book, which I actually recommend. This puppy, Design Parentin, Design Patterns. This is the gang of four: Eric Gamma, Rich Helm, Ralph Johnson, John. The C design pattern, the essentially reusable object. So most of the object-oriented design patterns are these collected by those puppies, those guys. They pull it in this book, but this is a dry read. It's a very dry read. That girl that has the design pattern head first, that's better for if you're starting with stuff. It uses Java and stuff like that. So yeah, Tim Ferriss, I like all that. I listen to all that stuff. And do guys recommend in the chat what other book that got me into what I'm doing right now, into software engineering. I read this when I was, I don't remember exactly, but I read this when I was maybe 16 years old. That's the first book I ever read about programming, and I implemented that. Learning Programming and Visual Basic 2. I have this book. My uncle gave it to me when I was 16, and that's how I got into computer science. It changed my life, this book. So obviously I didn't have Visual Basic 2.0. I had Visual Basic 5, version 5. So there was a lot of changes, and this book was written on top of Windows 3.1, and I had Windows 95, I believe, back then.